So I want to say hello to Joanna. Now, Joanna, I'm going to try and pronounce your surname, and I'm going to get it wrong, but we'll give it a go. So Joanna Ziolkowska.
Ziolkowska.
Ziolkowska. Oh, almost. That's so bad. I'll keep practicing it, and when we meet face to face, I'll try and get it right next time. Sorry about that. That's Joanna is in my Sandy Biggleswade group of WIBN and joined the month before we went into lockdown. I think probably 2 weeks before. So
yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
We've only met once face to face, but doesn't matter. So Joanna runs a company called Web Design Near Me, is based in Biggleswade, and concentrates on WordPress websites and SEO. Is that right, Joanna?
It is, yes, that's right.
So can you just tell me, how did you get into doing website? I know you said that you worked for an agency for a while and that kind of got you into the whole process.
Yeah, that's how it all started. I mean, I always loved computers and doing different bits and pieces with computers, but I never really knew how to do a website. That was that wasn't kind of my in my interest at all. So yeah, but I started working for a big SEO agency, and although we were concentrating on optimizing the websites for Google search, we obviously would design them as well. So, and I was working there as a project manager, which meant I needed to kind of know a bit of everything.
You dealt with lots of different people,
for the not just the web design, but the whole optimization. So that's how it all started, and I must say, yeah, it taught me a great deal about websites and how Google works and why is it so complicated and why is it so important.
Who knows how Google works? It changes all the time.
Yes, it's so a bit of a magic, I suppose. Yeah. Now we're not allowed to know why some websites do come up on Google search on page 1 and why some come up on page 10.
I mean, that's actually really important, isn't it? Because I guess most people don't even go past page 1, maybe page 2 at a push.
No, I mean, I must say I can't remember when was the last time I've looked on page 2 even. So I mean, I do occasionally, and obviously I do now when I check my clients' website to see where are they for different terms. But yeah, web design, I mean, a website can look awful really in terms of a design and be on page 1 on Google, and another website can look amazing and have all these different features and be on page 10 and no one will find it. So
so the SEO point of view is actually most important in terms of doing that, which is probably what you spend most of your time on. Yeah. But with the website designs themselves, in terms of you know, if people are maybe have got a website, you can do a website review. I know you said that you also do some training, so it's not just a case of I've designed the site, and off you go.
If the client comes to me, obviously they haven't got a website, I will take them through the whole process and arrange the hosting, the domain, registration. Obviously we talk about their business and their branding, because I think that's important. So it all kind of fits together with the colors, the logo, the scheme, depending on what they do. And I will always give them some draft design, so they've got something to choose from. And like I said, it's always needs to fit that brand that you already got, if you already have one. And we start designing, and at the end of design, I will optimize the website. I will explain why I'm doing this and this and this, so people do know why is it important, and they kind of carry on with it after I've finished the whole web designing process. But I also always train them at the end, so if they ever need to update small details, I'm not saying redesign the whole website, but if they want to update the phone number, the new photos, or they've changed the logo or whatever they want to update. So I always give them a little bit of training at the end, so they can actually give it a go themselves, and it's you know, it's not that difficult.
Well, you say that because you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I know.
But from Joe Public like me, I mean, I'm guessing for SEO it's important to have fresh content. It's not just a case of stuffing keywords into your pages, is it? In fact, you probably get penalised for doing that, but you know, making sure that you've got your search words in, and also that you've got stuff that's new, so it's not just a site that's been sitting with no changes on it. Is there a kind of, you know, how often should you be updating your content on your website? Is there a kind of...
I think again that will depend on the business you do, because I don't know, if you're a hairdresser, then you can probably get a few photos once or twice a week, before and after, or if there is a new thing that you're doing as a hairdresser, then I think that's important for you to keep it fresh, so people don't land on a website and they see photos from 10 years ago, which you'll be able to see probably being a hairdresser. So that's important. But yeah, that really depends on the business you do. Someone else might, I mean, my own website hasn't been updated for a long time. Obviously I will add my projects, that the websites I do add that and change prices. But in terms of the content, I actually haven't done it for a long time, which is, yes, I shouldn't be saying that, but I'm still on there, still on page 1. So it makes you sometimes think what is actually important to be, you know, for you to come up on page 1. So
yeah,
we think we think there are a few things that we're certain of that they're going to help you, but you can never know, you can never tell.
No. Is it important to have your social media links on, or is that a personal thing? You know, presumably if you're not very active on Twitter, for example, what's the point in having a Twitter feed in, or putting a Twitter feed in and then never using it? So when you click on the Twitter thing and it goes through to Twitter and you haven't tweeted for 2 years, it's pointless, isn't it?
No, it's still important, although you might not be doing much on social media. It's still important to have those links. Don't forget, Google is a machine. Its search engine is a machine. It's not a person. So the algorithm, we know, is complex and complicated, but Google, looking at your website, will look at all the links that pointing into your website and pointing out, so all the websites that point to you as well. So it's always important to have them good quality links. So definitely, I mean, I was actually saying to one of my clients today, he was like, oh, I haven't got a Facebook page, I don't want one, I don't need one. And I'm saying, if someone finds you on Facebook, they're probably going to come from Facebook and click on your website because they probably want to find out more. So if you haven't got a website, that's going to be probably for some people big no. And then on the other hand, if someone will find you on Google, they go on your website and they're going to probably go for your social media accounts because they will want to find out more. They want to see your reviews, they want to see your photos, they want to see what work you've done, what area you cover. All these questions they might have, and they're gonna find out either from your Facebook page or your other social media page or your website, and they're most likely to go through all of them.
Yeah, that's actually interesting, because you know, people's way of searching is probably very different, isn't it? You've got some people that are on Facebook and maybe use that as their website in some ways, but you know, you don't know what's going to happen with Facebook, do you? It could be it could be that all of a sudden they decide to take your account down and then everything is lost. Whereas if you've got your own website, I know it's double. You've got to end up, you know, you've got to service your website and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you know, LinkedIn.
I mean, it could be a full-time job, really, looking after the social media accounts and the website. So
yeah, and some people, I guess, love doing that, but you can spend all your time just doing social media, couldn't you? Or just updating all your things there, which is why it's important to have somebody like you who can, you know, facilitate that as well.
Yeah, but definitely, I must say, I mean, from I can see, just with myself or my friends, a lot of them will, I don't know, I'd say if I look for someone's services on Facebook, I will always go to About Me page, on their About page, and always look for the website. If there isn't a website, it's very rare I'll actually use them. I don't know why. Very often it just makes me think, you know, Facebook is so limited to what you can actually put about you on there. I'll always look for the website just to find some more information, really.
Yeah, and it's important for reviews as well, you know, to have them in different places. So obviously having them static on your website is good, but anybody can, I know it sounds awful, anybody can make up reviews, can't they? Whereas if you can prove that it's come from another source, so, you know, they're either on Google or on Facebook and you can link them in, that's all got to be good.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, there is obviously some ways we can, sometimes I've had clients that they had a lot of reviews on Google My Business, but they didn't have them on Facebook. But we would at least take a photo or do the screenshot of the Google My Business reviews and post them on Facebook, so people still see that they're coming from some kind of proper source, rather than they just made up and we just written them.
Yeah, no, that's
you can always link them somehow together, so they more kind of I suppose, not unless you've got a bad one.
I know. Well, I think again it depends on how you respond to bad ones, isn't it? You know, I've seen some awful things on Facebook and I just think, oh my God, you're just getting into a slanging match, you know. Just take it off and say, look, I'm really sorry, I'll deal with it with you directly. But you know, sometimes you just think, oh, people just come across so, you know.
Yeah, I think for whoever's going to use your services afterwards, and if they see the bad review and you've done nothing about it, then it's not going to go down well.
Yeah.
If you responded kind of and reassured everyone that I've dealt with it, I've done this and this and this, solve it, then obviously that's a different story. But
so I was saying when we first came into the interview that I'd only met you the once, and then we got into lockdown, and actually as a result of that, you just said that we've been having Zoom meetings where our WIBN members can go and visit other groups, and it was lovely to hear that one of the visitors that came to one of our meetings you subsequently done some work for, and she's also recommended you to one of her colleagues. So actually Zooming's not as bad as some people think.
Not at all. Not at all. It's been great. It's like I said, I've got probably 3 or 4 new clients through Zooming and networking on WIBN. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. We're lovely lovely to have you on board.
It's kept me busy, that's for sure. So it's always
that, along with the children and the dog as well.
Yes.
Right, so Joanna, whereabouts, how can people get in contact with you?
So there is obviously a website, so it's webdesigname.co.uk. There is I've got a Facebook page, I've got a Twitter page, LinkedIn page.
You see, look, she's got everything she's just saying that people should have.
not the most active on there, but I've got them all.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, it's been lovely to talk to you today.
And you. Thank you very much, Louise.
Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you.